on the YouTube, I forgot to turn on my mic on the computer there. There, I'm sorry. Thank you for those that just let me know about that. Okay. Important update on cannabis opt-out local laws. November 10th, 2021. Per the newly formed Office of Cannabis Management, OCM, if your town has already adopted or adopts a local law before December 31st, 2021, opting out of retail dispensaries and or on-site consumption sites, the town must notify the OCM by filling out the Office of Cannabis Management opt-out form, and they give us a link to click on. It says, please note that filing the opt-out local law with the Department of State is not sufficient. So in other words, we have to notify the Department of State and the Office of Cannabis Management, is what they're saying at this time. It does not refer whatsoever about opting back in. That has to do with the law itself, that the state has said that you can opt out. And if later you want to opt back in, that's fine. It's just that the Office of Cannabis Management wants to know specifically, it's not just to the Department of State, which is what we were told before we had to do. What, Tom?
To make a resolution, oh, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
No, I wasn't saying anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Do we need to make a resolution then to go ahead and send this to the Office of Cannabis Management?
And to the New York State Department of State. We have not, remember we had to give the 30 days for a permissive referendum. We have not received a petition for permissive referendum to date, so therefore now we can proceed by having a motion for our cannabis law to opt out and so notify the Office of Cannabis Management and the Department of State.
I move that we opt out of the cannabis sale, or I'll just say that we opt out and that we send notice of our opting out and local law to the Office of Cannabis Management and to the state.
Okay, Carrie makes the motion.
Yes, I just think that the motion should say that the town is adopting the local law, I forget what number it is, and will provide the appropriate notices to the Secretary of State and to this Cannabis Control Board or whatever it's called. If you saw the form, it's a one-page form which I can actually do it online and submit it online. So
Okay.
it's not a big deal.
Okay.
It's local law number 3 of 2021 for the cannabis law.
That was number 4.
Correct. We're
Okay.
doing them out of order.
Would you like me to restate that?
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Sure, we'll try, yeah. The commentary would like to give notice to the Secretary of State and the Office of Cannabis Management that we have adopted local law number 3 in regards to cannabis. I'll just put in regards to cannabis. Opting out, maybe, I guess cannabis opt out.
Yes, we have to specifically say we're opting out. Okay. Carrie made the motion. Do I hear a second? Lynn seconds. Lynn, how do you vote? Carrie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Dale had received this a couple months ago at one of his superintendent's meetings, the county superintendents, when they get together once a month, having to do with a contract with the county for the ice and snow removal and the mowing along the side of the roads. There was a couple sections that bothered me a little bit. I sent it to Lance. Lance said it's standard. I pulled out and I found an old copy, or really Lee found an old copy that Mark Chamberlain had signed with the county, and it's verbatim, except for dates. There is no change between that last contract and this one here. So, any comment on this at all?
What the language on the contract per se is all right, as far as I'm concerned, but I wouldn't vote for it to accept it without any figures put in.
The figures, Dale, you spent more time on this. You want to address that?
Yeah, well, first thing, they're gonna rewrite that and send it to you. They had another meeting on Monday when I was out of town, I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay, was there some words maybe changing? I read a lot of it, it says mowing of weeds on the side of the road. You're cutting grass too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what they're covering, So it depends what kind of weeds you're talking about.
we opted out. When it comes to the amount, Dale, it's an average of the past 3 years, was it?
But,
Past 5 years.
correct. And then every year they look at the CPI, in either June or July, I think it said, and adjust the rate accordingly.
CPI is the Consumer Price Index.
Right. And then they adjust that accordingly for the next budget year.
Has it gone way out of whack at any time? I mean, it's been within a few pennies each year.
Yeah, not that I know of, John. But John Peppinetti is the highway superintendent, and what he was trying to do is take the highs and lows out of it. So that's why he's using the 5-year average, but that's what they've been doing for years, so. There's really no big change.
Okay.
Do you want to wait until they give you the updated version?
Personally, I would wait on it.
Okay, we'll table this until our December meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Next has to do with the county agreement for animal control services. Which is an agreement we have to sign. As you saw on the contract itself, you can see where there are 10 municipalities. We are only one of them. In agreement, that they're looking for agreement to sign this with the county. Basically, the county, through its duly appointed agents, employees within the corporate limits of the towns and county, will carry out the duties and responsibilities of animal control officer in the enforcement of the provisions of Article 7 of the Ag and Market Law and any rules and regulations promulgated pursuant thereto. The county will provide, maintain a shelter for pound or seized dogs, will properly care for all dogs in such shelter, and will humanely euthanize or make available for adoption seized dogs not redeemed as provided in Article 7 of the Ag and Markets Law. Such shelter shall at all times during the term thereof be under the care and charge of a competent employee and shall be open to the public at reasonable hours. They also get inspected, I believe, at least once a year. The county will follow the provisions of Article 7 of the Ag and Markets Law and any rules or regulations promulgated pursuant thereto in relation to seizure, holding, care, redemption, and disposition of seized dogs. The county will file and maintain a complete record of any seizure and subsequent disposition of any dogs in the manner prescribed by the Commissioner of the Ag and Markets, as well as any other records required by Article 7, and the county will retain any impoundment fees and other monies collected in carrying out the provisions of this agreement. Any questions or anything on this, folks?
Does say someplace in there that the towns receive back the fees that are, if they do summonses or anything else, right?
Repeat yourself, Tom, I didn't quite catch that.
I thought I read in there that if somebody's in violation and they're cited for the violation, goes to court, any fees or anything that are received from that come back to the town.
Reserves is warranted under the provisions of the county.
All monies collected by town court as fine or penalty shall become the property of the town in which the enforcement proceeding was prosecuted.
Yep. It is right there, Tom. Maureen just read it. Could you hear her?
Yep, I couldn't, that's just what I read. I was wondering whether I was reading it right or not, that's why.
Yeah. Impound fees and so on that are collected at the dog pound are retained by them, but if they are in our court for penalties or any tickets because of whatever with the animals, then that becomes the property of the town, those monies. Okay, anything else? Okay, do I hear a motion for resolution to approve this agreement with the county?
I'll still move on that.
Okay, Tom, second.
I'll second it.
Carrie? Okay. Lynn, how do you vote? Carrie, how do you vote?
Aye.
Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. County Hazard Mitigation Plan Agreement. I was a little late getting that to you, but as I pointed out in my email, this is all documentation that I had sent earlier this year to you. Basically, the county just put it together in a nice, neat, compact file here. I think what I sent you was about 4 times thicker. So what the county wants us to do at this time is that the resolution reads, whereas the town of Berry, with the assistance of Tetra Tech Incorporated, has gathered information and prepared the Orleans County Hazard Mitigation Plan. And whereas the Orleans County Hazard Mitigation Plan has been prepared in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, and whereas the town of Berry is a local unit of government that has afforded the citizens an opportunity to comment and provide input in the plan and the actions in the plan, and whereas the town of Berry has reviewed the plan and affirms that the plan will be updated no less than every 5 years, and therefore be it resolved by the Berry Town Council that the town of Berry adopts the Orleans County Hazard Mitigation Plan as this jurisdiction's natural hazard mitigation plan and resolves to execute the actions in this plan adopted on the 10th day of November 2021 at our town board meeting. Do I hear a motion to accept this? Okay, then is there a discussion on this?
I know that we talked about this, or like that you had shared this with us a few months ago. I don't remember a lot of specifics about this. Was this shared with the fire department?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had sent it to the fire department to get their input. I also gave it to Shelley to get her input on a large portion of it. Dale had a large input in it. So there were a number of different people and groups that were involved with this. The county emergency plan, they were involved with the county overall. So yes, a lot of people were involved with this. This took us a long time to put this package together. And when it says in here that afforded the citizens an opportunity to comment and provide input, I believe there was at least 2, possibly a third, I'm not sure, public hearing that this Tetra Tech Inc. had carried on, advertised, and they had the public hearings. I know I sat in on one of them at least. And so it was offered to the county as a whole for people to participate in. Any other questions?
We're not required to do a public hearing on this at the town?
I do not believe so. Lance?
That's what I'm aware of.
I'm sure that would have come out a long time ago when we were working on it. Okay, do I hear, who was it, Linda made the motion then? Who made the second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Lynn, how do you vote? Carrie, how do you vote?
I'm gonna have to abstain. I just didn't read through it thoroughly enough to vote at this time, sorry.
Okay, Tom, how do you vote?
I'll vote yes,
And I vote yes. Okay, the ARPA funds. We have, where's my notes? Right here. I have it down here because the only thing that we, as the town of Berry, can utilize them for is either high-speed internet and or the water infrastructure. Well, Water District 10 is sitting. We'd like to get that into the ground. Water District 10 was budgeted for approximately $1.1 million. A week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I had asked the engineers what the cost was looking like for materials, fuel, to put this in the ground. I was informed that the prices are still going up. As we know, fuel prices, I mean, just this weekend, they jumped 2 cents a gallon down in town here. But they said that the prices are still rising, and right now, if it were to go out to bid, they figure that it would come in at $800,000 above what the budget was for this project. So you're talking almost almost $2 million for this project. I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I know that in text messages between myself and Lance and the engineer. There's a little discussion going on there. We're still scratching our heads on where we can go with this at this time. We have collected at this time $96,153.56 of ARPA funds. We get the second half of that late spring, early summer. That will be a total of $192,307.12. Well, there's a big difference between that and $800,000. So I don't know where we could turn with that, just trying to get the water in the ground. So that's still up in the air. Lance, how long can we let, I mean, we started this process with rural development. Is there a deadline out there?
No, there's no real deadline. The problem is that if the figures change dramatically like that, then we have to either go back and have a new petition filed with signatures, or there's an alternative procedure where the town can adopt the water district at the new figures, but then it is again subject to a permissive referendum.
Out of curiosity, because we started the process with RD, we were at one point locked in at a nice low interest rate. Will that interest rate still be recognized, or is...
Probably not.
That's what I was afraid of too. So longer, because it looks like interest rates are starting to climb now.
Well, I think I read something that they didn't expect the Fed to make an adjustment until July, for whatever good that does.
Okay. Well, there's nothing we have to, with ARPA funds, there's nothing we have to jump on at this time, so that money can just sit. MXUs I put down as another option with the water. Dale, if you want to address what MXUs are and why you brought that up.
MXUs are the units we measure the water with our drive-by system. We are short approximately 35 to 40 of them to the town totally with the drive-by system.
These, one MXU goes into each house.
Correct. Correct. And they cost, there again, those costs are going up. Last, I believe we were paying 160 to 170 a piece.
Okay. Okay, we're just gonna have to look that over a little bit more. Okay, and the last item we have is our budget for the coming year. We have a preliminary and we need to adopt. And right now, we're within the parameters set forth by the state. Now, we've went over this budget several times already. And we also discussed this clause that Shelby Bennett from EFPR Solutions, who manages our budget for us, made a recommendation, which if we accept this budget here, we need to say in our proposal for adoption, make this statement here so that it's all agreed upon. Do you wish I to read that statement again, everyone? I read it to you last special board meeting, because our special board meeting had to do with this budget. Okay? She states that she had noticed that the wrong amount was entered for the general fund for the 2021 taxes on the recap. When she corrected it, it now shows that we have a reduced tax rate of almost 2%. So in order to bring that a little closer and still not go over our tax cap, we can raise DA, line DA 1001 property taxes by $6,500 and reduce the amount of fund balance usage. Since we have an increase for health insurance jumped quite a bit this year, as we all know in our last discussion on this. You will still have a tax reduction of 1.34% and be under the tax cap by $2,212. Okay, so we are cutting our taxes by 1.34 by adopting this change that she recommends. And we will still be under the tax cap, and we are using less of our fund balance, which is a good thing. So do I hear a motion for a resolution to approve our 2022 budget with adopt, oh, I said approved, didn't I? I'm sorry. Adopt our 2022 budget with this change that was recommended.
Do we also have to adopt the other changes that we discussed, like the increase from the tentative to the preliminary, the increase in a few of the estimated receivables and things like that?
We did that at our special board meeting.
Okay, I just wanted, so everything from the tentative was changed to the preliminary at the special board meeting.
Yep.
And then the only additional difference is what she said in this, or her recommendation.
Yes.
We discussed at the workshop. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page.
Yes.
And we can adopt that, we're all in the same thing, we don't have to adopt her thing to add to it or anything separately, right? Sean, we can adopt the budget with it.
With that, yes.
I so move we adopt it with the change.
Do I hear a second? Lynn seconds. Okay, Lynn, how do you vote? Carrie, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Where did I put it? Can I borrow yours, please? Thank you. Okay, my report. General fund town-wide, we have, our expenses have totaled $426,925 compared to the revised annual budget of $573,641. Therefore, we have used 74.42% of our annual budget. So we're doing pretty good at curbing costs right now, or not spending the money, I should say. Highway Department, year-to-date expenses are $901,658. Revised annual budget of $896,024. Or in other words, the Highway Department has used 100.63% of their annual budget. Once again, don't forget, The state hasn't sent us our monies, have they, Dale?
No, not yet.
Once they send us the chips and highway fund and bridges, that should drop quite a bit. Okay? Town clerk has provided me with checks for the month. Her report, so we brought in $563.36. $288 just off of dog licensing. Wow. Okay, and I also have the judge's report of $5,023. Dale, your report.
I have failed to make the report, but, I will double up on December. But, I mean, I don't wanna say nothing, but we have all four big trucks are all ready to go for snow. The 550 was put together today, and that's basically what we do in October. Prepping for winter.
It's too early.
Yeah, yuck.
At least we got drivers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, Margaret's not available to see if she had anything to deal with you. That's probably what made her sick, is dealing with you, Dale.
Thank you.
Planning board, anything from the planning board, anyone? Tom?
They didn't have a meeting this month.
All right. Zoning board, they didn't have one either, right?
Right.
Anything on the Parkland? Hang on, Lee just walked in. Lee, you got something to add?
I'm sorry, in between, I don't hear nothing.
Well, I was asking if there was anything from the planning board.
Planning board, no, they did not meet last night.
Right,
Um,
and the zoning board did not meet.
no, and they won't be meeting, next week either, so.
Is there anything coming up?
Not that I am aware of at this point.
Okay. Utilities, anything there? Carrie?
No.
And Lance, last but not least.
So, other than, we have to file the adopted laws within 20 days with the Secretary of State, and I think Maureen knows how to prepare those cover pages, so
Yep,
we'll take care of that, and then I'll notify the Cannabis Control Board, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
I had the cannabis one all ready for you to sign and mail in, Lance.
Okay,
So I will get it to you to sign it along with the other one.
okay. Very good, that'll be fine, thank you. And I hope everybody who has COVID, I hope they get over it as quickly as possible, and everyone has a good Thanksgiving.
Agreed, everybody.
You too, Lance.
Okay then, anything else, anybody? Then do I hear a motion for adjourning?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Lynn seconds. Lynn, how do you vote? Carrie?
Aye.
Tom?
Yes, we can adjourn.
Thank you, Tom. And I vote yes. Thank you, everyone, and please, everybody get healthy.
And we're trying.
Okay. Everybody take care. Have a great Thanksgiving.